Sam Logue here for IrishBoxing.com. Delighted to be joined by my good mate Ian Gaughran.
Thanks, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too, Ian. Ian, obviously manager to many Irish boxers at the moment, a growing stable.
Yeah.
I think a really nice addition to the sport in this country over the last couple of years. First of all, how are you and how's the boxing treating you at the moment? How's life?
It's been good, everything has been well. Busy period, busy kind of 18 months I suppose, since it did start out with Dylan McDonough and that was it, and then it was Graham, and Dylan wasn't overly active, so it was always just Graham and that was it. We were here, there and everywhere, and Graham had his opportunities, fought for his titles, won his titles, and it's just kind of just grown completely between Jamie, Dave, Dom, Deco for a time, Rudy, James, Connor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more and more.
It really has grown, hasn't it? Like that's the interesting thing, like how quickly it can kind of go from 0 to 100, I suppose. Would you put a lot of that down to the work that you've been able to do with Graham? Because Graham has got an awful lot of title shots and I would say opportunities, and obviously you could look at the opportunities and say, well, what kind of opportunities are they? You know, a lot of them would have been like local opportunities in Ireland, but you know, to fight for Celtic titles, to fight for any title in Ireland. Would you say that you put down a lot of your kind of growth down to how you've managed Graham and your relationship with him so far?
Definitely. I think that was really the catalyst for the whole thing. Like from Graham, and I think Graham would be vocal enough in singing my praises, which is always nice. You know, it's grand. And when things changed with Boxing Ireland, and there was lads who all of a sudden were free agents. Like after the Dom fight, Dom had no management in essence, and Dom, while I was working with Dom, I was kind of dealing with Dom because I had half promoted that show that Mark put on, and that was my side of it, was the Graham and Dom stuff. And Dom just asked me afterwards, or in the build-up, said, "Look, I'm not under any management. Is there any chance that you can take me on, win or lose or whatever it was?"
Yeah.
So that went from there. Jamie obviously is a teammate of Graham's under Sean Kelly, so I think Graham was quite vocal in singing the praises, and he was always at Jamie to say, "Look, you need to come with him."
Yeah.
So Jamie got on, and Dave Ryan, you know, there's a good little base down there in Limerick.
Yeah, definitely is, isn't it? It's booming at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a good little group of them, and they all seem to be kind of quite close together.
Yeah, that's it.
Training together and stuff. It's class. Let's talk a little bit about Graham and Dom, because they're going to fight each other for a second time, I believe, in the RDS on September 16th. That's looking to be a great show now. That's really getting stacked up, isn't it, at the moment? Fighting again for it's the Celtic middleweight title, is it?
The one they fought for.
Yeah, the one they fought for before.
Graham beat Dom last June, beaten by a couple of rounds. Started uncharacteristically quickly for Graham.
Yeah.
I think Dom won the first, nice on the jab, and Graham kind of went through the gears then for a few rounds. Dom picked up 1 or 2 here and picked up a couple of late rounds, but Graham has done enough at that stage.
Yeah.
Since then, Graham has decided that he doesn't like to start very fast, and kind of lets people have head starts in fights. He let Craig have a head start, and ultimately it was his downfall in a fight that we obviously spoken about lots of times. We feel he won the fight, and then knockdowns and all that kind of jazz. But it's an intriguing fight, it really is, because Dom is in a different place altogether. He was with Dan Anderson for a while, and now he's with Ian Mahood, and he's a really happy fighter. He's learning loads, really confident, which is in himself, which is something that he kind of probably wasn't. He had suffered a fair few knockbacks. He had a bad dose of COVID, took a couple of defeats during COVID, and fights he probably never should have fought in. And probably, I don't know, maybe he'll kill me, but I don't think he'd mind me saying that confidence was probably an issue.
Yeah.
But you can hear it now when you talk to him, when I'm seeing training footage and sparring footage and all that, like, you can see that he's a different man and he's going to be a different fighter. So this is a trickier fight for Graham than probably it would have been this time last year.
Yeah.
You know, if they had immediately rematched, you would have said Asher Graham's favourite again.
Yeah.
But not anymore, because this is a different Dominic Donegan. Now, saying that, Graham feels great. Graham's at me to tell me how great he feels. Weight is much better. There's no outside things. There's a lot of shit that went on in the background of Graham's life in the run up to, say, Fergus.
Yeah.
And it kind of probably cost him his performance. Maybe not the result because he got beaten well, but certainly cost him his performance.
Yeah, I get you.
And it's something that he really needs to get back. So his determination to win this fight, to get another shot at Fergus, means he's training harder and harder. Dom's been down sparring with Craig, so that's now to provide a little bit of needle there. Graham probably didn't have that needle that he really needs to get properly up for it, but since Dom and Craig were sparring, Graham's now got that needle. So
and I can imagine, I know Graham, and I can imagine that.
Graham's promising he's going to bring the war again. I just would love if he didn't bring war. But like, as I said before, this is such a strange one for me to be involved in, because
this is what I wanted to kind of touch on as well. It's like you have both fighters in the fight, and obviously you want the best for both fighters, and you're trying to do your best job for both fighters. What's that like? And are there any kind of weird, like, so to speak, kind of like in-house rules? Like, how do you manage that situation when you've got two fighters and it's a big fight and it's on a big show as well?
Yeah, I think I'll probably flitter around in the background, certainly on the night. In the build-up, it's all fine. That's great.
You know, so just let them carry on.
Let them carry on, and exactly. And they've got 3 and a bit weeks left to go, and they'll really ramp it up now for the next couple of weeks, and then they'll taper down. And Dom wouldn't have much weight to be cutting, but Graham always leaves a little bit to the end. He likes to be strong through camp. Dom likes to stay around the way, so that's all fine. Camps are fine. 2 great trainers, and that's all. Well, tickets, that's just bread and butter to the managers. Like, that's all fine. But when it comes to 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, then I don't really know. I'll probably just pay each of them a visit in the dressing room. Everything okay? Anything you need to do? Blah 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 blah. All the best. I'll see you out there, because I'm not going to hang around in one dressing room over the other dressing room. I'm not going to pick one or the other.
You can't be seen to be doing that.
No, Graham's already dangling carrots saying he's going to give me the belt if he wins and all this kind of stuff, trying to get me to be up for Graham. Ordinarily, I would probably walk. I would always walk to the ring with the fighter, but I can't really do that now. So, like I was saying, I'll probably just either hang around the back and follow in after, or maybe be up in the ring just waiting for the 2 of them to come in and do it that way. Like Mrs. keeps saying, what are you going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I think I'm probably going to be more concerned with whoever gets beaten. As opposed, like, the celebrations can, from my end, they can wait. The lads can celebrate, and obviously I'll be delighted for them. But I'd probably be more concerned because I would class the 2 of them as mates. You know, known Graham for a long time now.
And guys, aren't they? So.
And I got on very well with the 2 of them. I would speak to them most days. You know, I've been down in Graham's house with the kids and all at Christmas time. So like, it's one of those ones where I just don't have any allegiance, to be honest.
But that's obviously a good thing, and I get why you would be kind of more concerned with the loser, because, and also from a managerial standpoint, there's more work perhaps to do with the loser. You know what I mean? The winner, once he wins and he's a title, he kind of has a little bit of a pathway that's almost naturally carved out for him. It's easier to manage his next steps. But with the loser, there's probably a lot more discussions to be had, and where are we going to go, and what route do we take, and do you want to keep fighting, and all these different things. Why is this not for the Irish title? And it's for the Celtic title.
Fergus Quinn already beat Graham very well, and
that's it.
Can't be skipped. I know there's been a little bit of kind of in different divisions, people have been given kind of opportunities.
We'll come on to that around.
I'm not bitter about it anymore, but in the past I probably would have been angry about it, but like, you know, it is one of those things that you have to respect, and the BUI have the utmost respect for Fergus Quinn and what he did to Graham at Belfast in December. Like, it was a clinical performance. It took him out. Graham would never stop, but Sean did the right thing, throwing the towel in. And Fergus has to be number 1 contender for the Irish title. So he is, and he's happy to vacate this to get the lads have another opportunity to win that gateway belt, because the only way for Graham to get his redemption at Fergus is to go through Fergus, and the only way to get that is to go through the Celtic title, which was done.
Do you think Fergus would take the rematch if?
I think he'd jump at it, to be honest.
You think so? Yeah.
I can't see why not. If he wants to win an Irish title, he's already stopped Graham.
I spoke to him in Belfast, and he was kind of.
Either he moves on or he hangs around for it.
He was hemming and hawing. He was a bit like, he wants to fight for the title, but I don't know how much the rematch interests him.
Might not be a rematch.
But just like, in terms of if Graham was to win.
If Graham is to win, either you've got 2 trains of thought. Fergus goes, well, this is easy for me. You know, I've already done a number on him. This is a handy Irish title and I'm ranked in Europe. Or he goes, do I not fancy Graham? Because that's... If what Graham says is true, there's a lot of shit going on in the background, made of balls his way, it's a different fight. Graham maybe knows how I operate now. Do they do things differently? Do I drop this? Do I need to drop this? Dom beats him. Dom with a big wicked right hand. Fergus comes forward. If Dom, or Dom 2.0 or 3.0, whatever you call him, can set up things to land that big shot, and like Ema Huda's doing an awful lot of work with him on his boxing side of things.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a fear of the unknown with Dom that Ferguson's going. Like, is he at the stage in his career where he doesn't need the Irish title? He's been built up with a big stable, big promotional company. He can maybe move on to international wars.
Maybe. I would imagine.
And if Graham was to win and Ferguson moved on, Graham would go mad. But like, I know Dom really wants to get that 10th win, he wants to get his title, so you know, two of them are pumped. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how it all transpires after the fact. But we'll move on now from the lads. It's always interesting to talk about Jamie Morrisey. It's been a bit of a weird one over the last while, right? He's been linked to Emmett Brennan, then you've got the situation with CRONIN and Craig McCarthy, who are now going to fight for the Irish title. It seems like they've kind of skipped ahead of Jamie, who probably, when you look at it logically, probably is the one who should be in line, right, for the Irish title. First of all, what do you make of that? I presume when you heard that, it wasn't the best news for you. So
no, I was snapping. At the time, I was Bullin, because I know that there was people who would say that Kevin beat Jamie and, you know, he deserves a shot and he should be the thing. In reality, and the facts remain, and as records stand, Jamie beat Kevin for his Celtic title and the pair of them drew. So, as far as we were concerned, how in the name of Christ does Kevin get to come in and fight a journeyman over 6 rounds, beat him handy, and then he gets the shot at the Irish title? And it never actually really got explained to me, but Jamie needed to recharge. Jamie had been on the go, and we spoke about it, we sat down about it, and we just kind of decided, leave it be, we'll make sure that you get your chance to fight the winner. And I've been lobbying the UI for God knows how long to make sure that Jamie, deservedly, being the super middleweight Celtic champion and being the light heavyweight Celtic champion, he vacated the super middleweight to accommodate Cronin because the BOI wouldn't let Cronin come down for his first fight at super middleweight to fight for a title. They wanted to see him weigh in, even though Cronin had done it before. Like, he had fights at super middle that got pulled a couple of days beforehand, and he actually had videos putting up of himself at 168. So we were like, let's just do it at super middle, but the BOI wouldn't let him. So Jamie, in essence, was he never lost his super middleweight title, went up and won the other one, so he should have been number one contender. Don't begrudge Kevin Cronin at all, because he's a great lad and he's a great fighter, and I'm sure it'll happen again at some stage down the road, number 3.
Seems like it will, to me.
And if he beats Craig, it's something that's probably more likely sooner rather than later, because the BOI have already given me the assurance that Jamie is mandatory to fight.
Who wins that fight between Carty and
Crum? I think, just from having seen the two of them, I just think...
What separates them?
Power, speed, volume, and I think the want. I think the fire that Cronin has, particularly off the back of the 2 results.
Well, if that draw with
really wants
Jamie is at to go by, Kevin definitely has a lot of hunger, doesn't he?
Craig's reached his... Craig, when he won his Celtic title against Graham, he knows what it's like now, so he obviously has that feeling of winning. But does he really want it as much as Kevin? I don't think anybody wants it as much as Kevin, and that's no slight on Craig. I really think the bit between the teeth is now Kevin, and he's had his real lows off the back of the first defeat and the draw, which he thought he won both fights, and I just don't think he's going to be denied this time. Loads of respect for Craig, by the way, because he beat one of my fighters. He beat Graham for the Celtic title, and you know, is he 9 or is he 10 wins already? No, the only time he got beaten was that knockout with Brad Ray, drew Chris Blaney. Craig's a big, dangerous fighter, and he brings a lot to it. But I'm just a huge Kevin Cronin fan, and I have become converted to being a Kevin Cronin fan off the back of Croninism, off the back of the 2 Jamie fights. And I just feel that there's a little bit too much that he has, and if it gets late, Craig's going to need to start fast, like he did with Graham, rack up the rounds. But we've seen twice now with Cronin, you can't keep him off it. He's so strong. And if he starts to come on, I don't know if Craig's going to be able to
the rematch with Jamie was very impressive how he finished that fight. Jamie started so strong as well, and
Jamie was probably 4 or 5 up after half. It's like nick a round or 2 and this is done.
He was
just
able
survive.
to boxing kind of at the start, and then Kevin just never said no, did he? Just kept coming. obviously Jamie got a little bit tired and blah blah blah. It's just, you know, management of the fights or whatever. But it was it was a very good fight first of all, but it was very impressive.
Yeah.
You
Now
know?
on the same token, I know Craig and Dom have been sparring, and Dom said Craig is really sharp.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Craig is obviously taken from the 2 fights that Kevin had with Jamie, and knows that he's going to have plenty in the gas tank. Maybe early on he's not going to load up as much as he did against Graham, because when we sat together watching Graham and Craig, and Craig was loading up a lot and having plenty of success, but we're going to need to hold something back for Cronin.
Yeah.
Because Graham came on strong and won the second half of that fight. Kevin will come on really strong, and he's a big old 168. Graham's a small 168.
But that's it, like Kevin probably has a little bit more in the frame and maybe a little bit more pop and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he's a bit better suited to the weight that Graham is. But
Buzzing for the fight though.
yeah,
Looking forward to it, because
me too. It's gonna be interesting.
2 different styles.
Nice build up as well. Like,
yeah, I love the 2 of them at the build up.
Yeah.
I hated it when it was Graham and Craig, because it was doing my nut in.
Yeah.
But I love watching other people doing it. And Craig's good at getting into people's heads.
Yeah, he is. I think you're actually right there. I think he's a wind-up merchant, like kind of slyly. He's winding everyone up. Like,
I like the way he does things.
it's interesting. But let's talk about Jamie, because he has been linked to Emmett Brennan, who is obviously an Olympian and is kind of, you know, someone who has a bit of who's been in the public eye, and you know, he has a little bit more of a mainstream following, and people know who he is. And he's obviously very, very good as well.
Yeah.
He's said himself, Emmett, that he wants to fast track right through. He wants to win the Irish title as soon as possible and move on. He's very confident he can beat who's there. I've spoke to him, not in an arrogant way, just in confidence in his own ability, which he deserves to have.
He puts himself above.
Yeah,
the rest
and
of
I think he deserves to have that confidence in himself. He wants to fight Jamie. Jamie has said that he will fight him, right? But he wants to get paid. What's your take? You're the manager, you're the man who guides the career. Will he take the fight against Emmett? This is Jamie Morrisey, or you know, what's your feelings on that, and when and if and how?
I'd say I'll take it after he gets his mandatory shot at the Irish title.
Okay.
Kevin and Craig fight. Jamie's out in Cork on the 7th of October, back at Super Middle. Jamie's mandatory for the winner of the 2. Jamie gets a shot. Emmett and Tommy Hyde can fight for the Celtic. Winner can fight Jamie if he beats Cronin or Craig McCarthy for the thing. How about that? There's your semi-final.
There you go. Unfortunately, we'll never see it happen, will we?
Well,
Tommy Hyde and Emmett won't fight. No chance.
I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see it. I think I'm a very big fan of Tommy Hyde.
Jamie's gone through Berkey, McGivern, Cronin twice. He had his debut and a Seamus Devlin year off comeback thing. Emmett's had 1 fight at 6 rounds, albeit impressively. And all of your amateur experience, and that's great, and you're fantastic, and I really like him.
Yeah.
But Jamie's come up and gone through the hard way. You don't just get to go, I'm better than him, I get to fight. No. Have a bit of respect for what Jamie's done and what the blueprint that Jamie has made for all of these domestics that are on. Like, he jumped in against Berkey and outclassed Berkey, that was fine. He went over to Ben McGivern's, fought him. Ben since won a Celtic, British Celtic, which is worth more than the Irish title. He's then fought Cronin, beat him, granted an immediate rematch, but out of respect. So I just think Jamie deserves that little bit of respect himself to go, well, hang on, the man just can't just swan in here. Now, there's probably an element of, I don't really want to see the fight right now because it's a really tough fight, and unless it's for something that's worthwhile, either a load of money or a title, not a title that he's already won twice.
Yeah. So
Grand. So
for you, Irish title.
Irish
Be on the
title.
line for that.
If Jamie beats the winner of the thing. If not, let's do it anyway. That's fine.
Yeah. Would you be okay with them fighting for a vacant Irish title, or would you want Jamie to win it first and defend against them?
I mean, Jamie cares.
Doesn't matter.
No.
It's very interesting though, because I think a lot of this stuff is kind of dependent on what way you want your career to go as well, and that's why you need your manager to be quite like level-headed, I think, because Jamie probably fancies it because it's like a challenge and it's a big name and that's great, but it's obviously a very hard fight. It's a very hard fight for any of the Irish lads, and it's got a lot of pedigree. It's very good. So kind of what way do you want to go about your career, because it's a big risk, isn't it? So
the risk has to be worth the reward. You're not going to come in and do it for $4,000 or something.
Yeah.
You know, Emmett Brennan is probably has the potential to be one of the best super middleweights in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, if he translates his amateur pedigree to the program, and he's already started with 6 rounds. You know, if he progresses the way he says he's going to progress, and the way most people, including myself, think he will,
yeah,
make it worth it. You know, don't just go, oh yeah, I'll do it for $2.5 grand, 10% tickets. No, fuck off. Like, why would I do that?
What do you need to make it happen? Do we need like a big CRONIN show, or do we need a big? Could you promote the show like in Dublin, or what would you need that? Would you want that to go on like a matchroom show, maybe when they come back to Ireland? What way could we?
No, Emmett spoke about Katie. Jamie would be happy to do it on the Katie card, but like, there's an awful lot. We saw what happened with the Katie card the last time. Not really much domestics on it. Thomas Carty is a matchroom promoted fighter, so he fought Jamie McFarlane. Yeah, like
he's been on their shows. Yeah.
Other than that, it's not like the lads were saying, oh, with Graham and Dom, and then Eddie Hearn is no way more interested in putting on Graham and Dom. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, no one there.
Yeah.
No, he wants to make sure his own fighters are going to be on that bill. Darren Barker obviously is Emmett's manager and might have a bit of sway on that.
Exactly.
But
that's
like
one area where we might have a bit of luck with that one. Like, where do you think Jamie ranks in the super middleweight mix? You know, with all those names that we've mentioned. Number 1. No,
well, certainly not number 2.
Yeah.
If you want to put Craig as the Kelly champion, if you want to put Kevin up there, Kevin and Jamie, I think, are sitting up there level with each other.
Yeah. You've then got like Emmett, Tommy Hayes.
Yeah, Tommy's on the way up. Really like what he's doing. Emmett, as we spoke about, has all the pedigree in the world and could be better than all of them. Craig's there as well. Graham's on a super middleweight. Like I don't see anybody at this point ahead of Jamie.
Yeah.
Whether you put people on a par with him, you could probably put Kevin on a par with him. The two of them drew it last time, so you can't not. Yeah. Even though Jamie technically beat him the time before, Dave would say he didn't, but like it's the same way we would say Craig didn't beat Graham, but he did. So
once it's official on paper, that's it. Like, yeah. Interesting. We'll move on from that. Let's talk about Rudy Farrell. Obviously, a relatively one of your newer signings, right? What's the situation with him and Jared Hughes? They're kind of lined up to fight before, right?
Yeah, Rudy's missus had a baby.
Yeah.
Jared's team didn't want it over 8 rounds. He just wanted to have a 6 rounder. We were kind of going, well, he's going to be out of the gym for a little while helping his missus, and let's just wait till the end of the year, do it over 8 rounds. The two of them want it. They want it, we want it. It'll get done. Yeah. Probably, maybe December in Belfast. I know there's going to be another show. We'll get Rudy out in the meantime.
Can we get a title on the line for that one?
I hope so, yeah. I can't see why not. There's no title holders in super bantamweight.
Yeah. That's right. Actually,
should be easily done.
And Rudy Farrell should definitely be at super bantamweight as well.
He is.
Watched his debut, and he was against a guy who was a lot heavier than him. And I was like, this guy should not be fighting at this weight.
No. And that's what it was. He went up and he fought Federer and all that, but he's not. He's a super man.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about the RDS show. How much involvement have you had in putting that together? I hear you've been instrumental.
No, I have a contact in the RDS through my job and with the equestrian sector.
Yeah.
And I got onto them, made a few introductions, and put Jamie Conlon in touch with her. And it was using my former journalistic skills to write a lovely glowing email and introduction and all that. And but aside from that, like, it was basically making the intro, put the two people together.
Brilliant.
And they've gone from there. So I'm really looking forward to the show. It's gonna be a great show.
I can't wait for the show. It's gonna be great. I am interested obviously in the show and kind of it being put together, and your involvement as well, because obviously you've grown a lot from at the start having like 1-2 fighters and then kind of now having a big stable and, you know, working really well. And that's one of the things I love about you and a lot of the other guys in Ireland is that you are able to work together really well. Like, I know Mark Dunlop, to be fair to him, is really good at working with loads of guys. You work very well with him. Butch is in the background there doing a bit for Jamie Conley. All kind of work together and put guys on shows and help each other out, which is obviously amazing for the scene and which is what we need to see.
Jay's coming in now and he's happy to looking to work with everybody as well.
Absolutely,
so I think the scene is thriving. I think it's all the better because we are able to work together. There's nobody who doesn't, well, not that I'm overly aware of. I certainly don't have anything with any different managers or promoters that I wouldn't work with them.
Yeah.
Like, we're all in for the end goal is to kind of make this sport better at this level, and then that the only way for it to grow to a higher level is at this level to become as best as it can. You know, and you guys are at the forefront of that as well. You know, making sure that it's well publicised. There's a hardcore kind of boxing journalism, like the hardcore yourself, Steve Morton, Kieran, Kevin Byrne, like it's very important for us to make sure we grow at this level and to all work together to make sure that we can get. And this RDS show is the next step, probably. You know, as a big domestic show. It's out of the small hall, it's into a big enough arena, and we've got Katie probably again now in November, all going well.
Definitely.
You know,
well, let's talk about the show, because like there is some big names on it. Like Luke Keeler's back in action. A dog
Emmett.
with a big name. Emmett's on it.
Thomas Carty's
on it, which is debatably the biggest name.
the only one that's missing from a dub scene is Pierce,
Yeah.
and he's got his own fight, I think, the week before or the week after.
Yes, because he was originally going to be on the card, right?
So from a
Let's
Dublin point of view, the only one
that,
is Pierce, but like Emmett's a big draw, as we've spoken about. Thomas is a huge draw.
He's a very good draw.
Everybody loves him,
Yeah.
and he's a well-spoken Dublin heavyweight who could bang. He's already won a title, and it's on the way up. Like the place will be rocking. It was rocking in the 3 Arena from when he came in early.
It was.
And he's going to be a lot later. The Carty party and Team Carty and all that. Like, I'm obviously going to be a bit busy in the meantime with Dom and Graham, and I'll be very interested, an interested observer of Cronin and McCarthy. But from then on, it's all about Thomas Carty and then the main event. So like, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I think that's. What do you think the most important addition to the card is? Because obviously we've got Tyrone McKenna headliner for the IBO welterweight title, which is class. But obviously, when you put a show on in a certain place, you need locals on the card, and I think actually that is particularly relevant to Dublin for boxing.
Actually, Deco on as well. So
Deco's on it now as well. And I want to ask you about Deco.
I think Thomas is the most important.
Yeah, he's
main event aside. Like, you saw what the atmosphere was like in November, and he's got the real star quality that could be the face of Irish boxing.
How far can he go, do you think?
I think he can go to certainly international level. He's still on the up, and we haven't even gone near his ceiling. He's still quite raw, and he still makes little tiny kind of bits and bobs. You would go, okay, sometimes he'd step back, sometimes he'd step in, but every single fight is better and better and better. Like, there was a couple of times when he was crucifying people, but it was still kind of messy looking, and maybe he would smother his work or something. He'd probably admit that himself. But as the fights go on, like, I really enjoyed the McFarlane fight. Looking forward to seeing now what he can do, because he's obviously got serious power, which you're going to need, and he has learned through some top sparring, and he's been managed well. He's progressing through the ranks well, and hopefully we see a nice little step up again, a bit more of a test, and that we can.
Johnny Fisher fight on a match.
I would love it, and Thomas beats Johnny Fisher.
Yeah,
just a hype train for me. Big bangs and the bosh and all that, but obviously.
Technical boxer.
As far as we're concerned, Thomas beats John. Yeah, and I think he just outboxes him.
Yeah.
And then finds the power.
I think so. I do want to talk about Deco, because obviously he signed with you. Deco is the fucking cat with 9 lives, and he's come back and retired and come back and so many times. But it's always a pleasure to see him in the ring. Very, very skilled boxer. I would say I'm quite friendly with Deco. One of the most underachieving boxers in Ireland.
Well, he's got a chance now to win the Irish title. He did have the chance, and obviously then he got the cup in the warm-up fight that he was sanctioned to fight. Like, in order to.
Dylan was going to be a great event. But what kind of happened for him to leave you and go home? And
he had retired because after the fight that he got the cut, Pasnelskas, whatever his name is, and then the Dylan fight was off. We only had a short-term contract as it was. And so as far as he was saying, look, I'm going to jack it in, and I don't know what happened then between then and him signing with Mark. But Mark got on and said, look, Deco's been on, and I'm going to sign him if that's alright. So it wasn't as though we were in contract or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
How much further can Deco go, do you think?
Oh, well, look, once he puts the work in, and he's focused, gets the diet right, and actually trains like he can, and he's all the talent in the world. He could be a European champion. Probably needs to do it, I would say, welter, light welter. I'd say no, light welter.
Yeah.
If he's going to get to 147, I think there's still plenty in him to get to 140. Maybe that's at this stage. Like, he was younger when he was fighting at super feather, but I would have said 140 should be within his compass. And at this point in his life, because he's bigger now. He was only small, but you know yourself when you see him.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a little bit more across the shoulders. So I think at 140 he probably won't be having to kill himself to cut.
And he'll still be big at the weight.
And he'd still be decent at the weight.
Yeah.
And he's probably the most naturally talented boxer we have.
His skills are very, very
So
impressive.
like I would have him if everything goes well in camp and everything goes like according to plan. He would have to be favoured against O'Neill, but I'd say
He's gonna fight that though.
he just can't get bored. Deco has a tendency to get bored in fights.
Yeah.
Like, and it's kind of he could be outboxing someone for 5 or 6 rounds. Come on, we'll have a go. Don't have a go. Just go. Just go and box and outbox him for 10 rounds. But O'Neill will come on. You saw what he did against Owen Duffy with behind the cards, and he found that shot. So Deco just needs to be careful of that. But I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I actually like the two guys. To be fair. Another fight I'm just looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, be there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Listen, I'm going to let you go, Ian, because I know you're in a rush. Thanks very much for talking today.
No worries.
Boxing off.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you very, very soon.
You will.
All the best, man.
Thanks a million.